When you encounter a new stranger's face, your brain's amygdala processes their features and begins forming an impression in exactly 33 milliseconds. In this fraction of a second, the brain establishes an initial baseline of trustworthiness that persists well after the first encounter. This creates a direct conflict with our societal ideals, the belief that we should evaluate people based on their deliberate actions and individual merits rather than their appearance. While we try to adhere to those moral standards, our neurological hardware is secretly making snap judgments before we even have the chance to consciously register them. The impact of these judgments shows up in high-stakes environments, like a study where employees rated fictional CEOs who had announced deep pay cuts for their staff. CEOs with high inner eyebrows and prominent cheekbones were rated as more trustworthy for the start, and as a result, employees were significantly more likely to view their decision to cut wages as fair. We see a similar pattern in the justice system, where defendants with baby-faced features, like large eyes and rounder faces, are more frequently exonerated for intentional crimes compared to defendants with more mature facial structures. These specific facial geometries function as a hidden variable, influencing outcomes in both corporate boardrooms and criminal courts. Researchers believe the root of this behavior lies in the ecological theory of social perception. In a prehistoric environment, the ability to look at a face and instantly identify a physical threat, a helpless infant, or signs of disease was a requirement for survival. This created a biological mechanism called overgeneralization, where the brain triggers these ancient survival alarms even when viewing modern neutral faces that happen to share similar geometric shapes. Our modern social biases are often just prehistoric survival mechanisms firing at the wrong targets. The baby face overgeneralization occurs when an adult has features like large eyes, round cheeks, and a short chin. These proportions overlap with the geometry of a human infant, which can trigger an innate instinct to protect and nurture. Because of that overlap, we frequently assign traits like innocence, warmth, and naivete to these adults without any evidence of their actual character. A similar glitch happens with facial symmetry. Because symmetry was historically a signal of genetic health, it can bypass our logic to create an attractiveness halo, leading us to assume a stranger is more intelligent or capable than they might be. In both cases, the qualities we think we see are often just the brain's reaction to geometric markers of youth and physical health. Another key metric is the facial width-to-height ratio, or fWHR. A wider face structurally mimics the same muscle movements the human face makes during expressions of anger or dominance. When the brain detects this wider structure, it can instantly tag the individual as aggressive or deceptive, regardless of their actual behavior. This chart shows ratings for wide versus narrow faces on ability and benevolence are identical. Facial width doesn't change perceived skills. But this second chart shows a stark contrast. Narrow-faced men are judged as having significantly higher integrity, while wider faces are penalized. The brain appears to read a wide face as a prehistoric physical threat, leading us to judge a person's morals based on their bone structure rather than their actual actions. It is important to note that the accuracy of these 33 millisecond judgments is highly questionable. Research suggests these snap impressions are often entirely disconnected from a person's actual traits. Relying on them can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy, where treating someone as untrustworthy because of their cheekbones causes them to act defensively in return. These evolutionary remnants continue to influence modern systems, subtly affecting corporate hiring, even democratic elections, and the justice system. Ultimately, the trust we think we see in a face is frequently an illusion, a prehistoric reflex that doesn't reflect the person behind the features. While these reactions are fast, they are not final. Understanding this neurological glitch allows us to consciously account for it in our own thinking. For those who lack the facial structure that naturally inspires trust, there are ways to bypass these initial snap judgments. Nonverbal strategies, like sustained eye contact, smiling, and open body language, have been shown to foster genuine trust, providing a behavioral path to overcome the brain's initial reaction to facial geometry. We can't change our prehistoric wiring, but by focusing on deliberate, conscious behavior, we can move past these evolutionary misfires and judge character on its actual merits.